Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live, open live drawing session. Today, we're going to have a drawing session. Give me, as usual, just a few minutes while I go live on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome, everybody. Just give me a minute. I just want to go live on Instagram. Second. There it is. Okay. Welcome, everyone on Instagram. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the open live Neurographica drawing for the Psychology of Money program. I welcome you here. Give me a second. Make sure. Okay, we're all here. We were all good. Okay. Let me make sure I see you now. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. My name is Lana. Shalom. I'm inviting you today for an amazing open live session. Just not going to be a regular Psychology of Money open session where I will be talking to you the continuation of our conversation from yesterday, how to connect your financial goals with your inner core values. And we're going to go further than that, okay? We're going to go further now. We're going to, excuse me, still have a bit of a cough. We're going to actually, we're going to draw a great Neurographica drawing today, where I will show you through the drawing. We're going to actually connect few different coaching programs. We're going to connect the Psychology of Money. We're going to connect Neurographica method. And we're actually going to bring in, you're going to see what's happened. We're going to bring in the meta-modern quadrants philosophy, the meta-modern quadrants idea. And I will show you how we connect all three of them as I'm bringing to you the coaching fusions, right? The different, taking different amazing coaching modalities, different amazing practices, and bringing them together, connecting them together, fusing them to create something absolutely magnificent, much more transformative, and something that you can use within A, for self-coaching within your own life, and B, within your professional life, okay? Since I am bringing so many amazing programs, right? First of all, the amazing news I want to give you, there will be few more, two more open live sessions where I will also bring and combine with some Neurographic drawing. Monday at 12 o'clock on the Psychology of Money, we will start and we'll show you, we will discuss the stages of development, and we're going to draw a bit of it. And excuse me, on Friday at 12 o'clock, next Friday in 1 week, we'll have yet another open live Neurographic drawing combined with the Psychology of Money coaching program. We will have another live Neurographic drawing. So welcome to join me. Welcome to see how you can combine, like I said, different methods and bring your amazing financial goals to realizations, bring your knowledge, expand your knowledge to something more, something beyond, something unusual you haven't yet learned, but will bring something, will bring transformations to your life and expand your knowledge and understanding of how financial growth works in reality, how we can use various coaching practices to bring the financial growth to life, okay? Again, 2 new open live sessions next week, Monday and Friday at 12. Okay, I will post it on my profiles, both on Instagram and Facebook, just letting you know now live. And then the week after, starting, I believe from, let's see, I believe it's May, right, starting May 9th, we will start having closed practice sessions for the psychology of money. Now, I kind of revised the original psychology of money program, did not include so much the Neurographica method, maybe just for 1 sessions. Remember, the whole psychology of money program has 12 sessions in total. I had an idea originally to add the Neurographic method. I wasn't sure if I'm doing it now. I started figuring it out, but it wasn't fully integrated. But last night, I fully figured it out. I am going to offer the psychology of money program now fully integrated with the Neurographic method. So if you enjoy Neurographica, if you love drawing Neurographica, welcome to join the psychology of money. It's an amazing comprehensive program. I spoke more about it yesterday. I spoke more details about the program on Monday. Now, each single session will include a Neurographica drawing, okay? We will be using the Metaphoric associative cards. It's short, we call it MAC method, okay? MAC, MAC cards method. Again, MAC stands for Metaphoric associative cards. And each session will include the session on the MAC and the session of Neurographica drawing, using Neurographica to further your transformation with psychology of money. We will also be using a few other practices, integrative practices within. Again, each session will be quite unique and each session will work on different aspects, different blocks and inhibition. We will work on either removing it or transforming it, one way or another, working with your subconscious, okay? Removing association, projections within money, removing secondary beliefs, limited beliefs, right? Removing loyalties within your ancestry systems, removing entanglements within the ancestry systems. Lots and lots, amazing, amazing program, which will layer by layer uncover and totally transform various blocks you may have within your various inhibition within your subconscious, maybe even deep within your unconscious, right? Go into past life trauma, this life trauma, working through various trauma. Again, utilizing from now on, utilizing Neurographica within each single session. So this will be truly an amazing, magnificent course. Welcome to join, welcome to register. PM me, I'll give you more details like the price, which the price is $249 for the whole program. Now remember the discounts, my regular discounts apply. If you took the basics course, if you took any one course with me, you get 10% off. If you took the specialist, if you took 3 courses or more with me, you take, excuse me, 15% off. If you took the specialist with me, welcome to take whopping 25% off. $249 minus 25% comes out much less than $200, that I can tell you for sure. So welcome to join. It truly is, it's a special introductory price because this is cohort number 1. Although I have done this program numerous times in individual levels, in live group level, since this is the first time I'm bringing it to this online version / adding the amazing Neurographica method into it, integrating, making it much more transparent and much more, much more powerful, will be quite amazing. So welcome to join, welcome to take this opportunity, okay? I'm giving you a little more information while people are gathering. We're going to start the drawing very, very soon. I'm going to give you a few more words. Also next week, I will go live on Tuesday to give you the second part of the meta-modern quadrants, something that I started this week, and next week, Tuesday, we're going to continue. We're going to talk more about meta-modern quadrants. We're going to connect. I'm going to show you how it is connected to the Bogabon coaching program. I'm going to tell you more about the Bogabon program, okay? So welcome to join again. On Tuesday, it will be at 2 p.m. Okay, Tuesday. Again, I will post all the times and the name, but now I'm telling you again, while people are gathering to join us for the live drawing. On Wednesday, 11 a.m. Okay, Wednesday, we're starting the new cohort of the basics course. Welcome to join the new basics course cohort in Neurographica. Right before that, 11 a.m., I will be doing a Neurographica presentation, telling you more about the methods, explaining to you. So welcome to join me. So 11 a.m. will be an open live session of the Neurographica presentation. And at 12 o'clock, we're starting the closed practice, hands-on, full practice, 8 hours of straight drawing of the Neurographica method. Welcome to join us, learn this amazing method, become proficient, start using it, start bringing self-coaching transformation to your own life, okay? That's Wednesday. Thursday, we're starting the Bogabon coaching program. It will be in closed sessions already. It will be very powerful. I start bringing the ideas. This will be a coaching program, which means it'll be full of practice, right? This is a group practice program. So in the program, everybody will be invited to join, to discover, to see how the instrument works and start seeing the results right away, okay? So that will be very important. 5 weeks, 5 Thursdays, we're having closed practice sessions on Bogabon, okay? And next Friday, like I mentioned, will be another open psychology of money session, okay? Now, let's get to what's happening today. What's happening today is happy birthday, Neurographica. April 29 is officially the birth date of Neurographica. 8 years ago, the founder of Neurographica, Pavel Piskaryov, PhD, PsyD, have discovered this amazing, amazing method and decided, let's discover it, let's found it. He actually created it. When I say discovered it, that means he discovered it within himself, right? He discovered it within the universe. He honed it down. He created all of the algorithms. And then he did something truly amazing, something that we're all Neurographica fans are thankful to him. He shared it with the world. And we want to thank you. We want to say thank you to Pavel. We want to say thank you to the whole Neurographica worldwide, to the whole Neurographica world, to the whole Neurographica to all Neurographica fans, welcome. Welcome to come and join us and discover this amazing, amazing method for yourself, okay? So let's go to drawing. Are you with me? I'm going to remind you what we talked about yesterday before we start, okay? Yesterday, we discussed values, inner core values. Excuse me. We discussed how we can figure out what our core values are. Why is it important? Because everything, anything and everything we do in our life, every single behavior in our life is postulated, is fully governed by our values, okay? To look at a different way, our values is the way our soul completes the mission and brings the mission to life within this world, right? Our values is the way we see the world around us. And of course, the way we see the world around us is the way we want to kind of interact with it. So values are extremely important. It's important to bring them to reality. It's important to kind of figure out, to discover what they are. Most of the time, most people do not sit down and consciously think about their values. They are aware of the idea of the values. They may even hear, they may even think about it, maybe talk about it, maybe did a training here and there. But nobody actually sits down and does a whole, figuring out what are my values? What am I? Who am I? Why do I do things a certain way? Why do I even eat certain food, right? Why do I even dress a certain way? Why do I walk a certain way? Why do I go certain places? And when I tell you all of it has to do with your values, you will never do anything that will be against your values. Now, saying that, you may have various values on different sublevels of your subconscious that may be opposing each other. And in that case, what happens is a resistance or an inhibition or a block is formed, right? When there is a collision between the two important values, or maybe one is more important, one is less important, but you're not aware of those sublevels of those values. So it's important to figure out whenever you set a goal. We're here talking about the financial goal, but in reality, it works toward any single goal. Any goal you choose, whenever you work with it, whenever you set it, it's important to start understanding that that goal will only come true if it matches your values, if it coincides, if it aids for your value to be kind of completed or manifested within this life. Okay, now, a lot of us have, again, like I said, various values that are opposing or that are not fully in conjunction with each other. So sometimes we set a goal, but that goal doesn't come true because we may not be aware of it, but we have various values that are kind of colliding with each other. And as a result, the goal kind of stalls, right? An inhibition gets created. And we don't know why, but we can't move forward no matter what we do, right? That happens a lot within the financial possibilities, right? Within the financial world, right? A lot of us, let's say, most of us have a financial goal. We want to grow the amount of money we receive, right? On a monthly level or on a weekly level. Let's talk about the monthly level. Most of the time people talk about the monthly level. It's important to start understanding that when a lot of times we ask for more money, but then the money comes and somehow we call it the drainage, right? It drains away, right? It's something like going through the fingers, right? Slipping through the fingers. And you're like, what happened? I received so much more money this month, but somehow new expenses came up. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, what happened? Voila. As a result, you have no money. You come out to be on exactly the same level like you were a month before when you didn't make that much money. New expenses came up, like a car broke down, all of a sudden needing to use a doctor, anything else, going on a shopping spree and all of a sudden buying something and kind of using all that money. And then you're like, I wonder why I bought this. Again, all of this happens is because there are different values within you. Discover your values. If you haven't joined it yesterday, if you haven't seen this session yesterday, excuse me, if you are not aware of of how to discover your values, welcome to watch the session from yesterday. It's on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel where all my videos, open sessions are there. Welcome to browse through them. I have an amazing array of open sessions, Neurographica, Psychology of Money, Meta-Modern Quadrants now also. Welcome to watch. I also have a video explaining how math cards works. If any of you are interested in that, that was like about a year ago. Excuse me. Now, it's important to understand that come back and watch. Well, welcome to draw with me today. You can still do it, but definitely go and watch that video from yesterday if you haven't done. Draw, write down the 4E, the list of all of the values, divide them. I showed yesterday how you can divide them in different contexts and start understanding what are the values that were given to you? What are the values that you decided to acquire yourself? You looked around and you're like, I like that value. I agree with it. I work with it. It kind of mentally, analytically works with me. I see logic in it. I see sense in it. Some values may be like intuitive. You're like, I feel intuitively agreeing with it. And some values may be, again, acquired. Somehow you don't know why, but this value kind of within you. So start discovering what was given to you during your childhood, what was given to you within your social surrounding, right? We are social people, no matter, even if you live somewhere in the forest and you don't watch TV much, one way or another, you are connected to others in the big universe of ours. So start understanding how this social environment influences you through forming your values, okay? I'm going to transfer my camera. Okay. And we're going to draw, okay? Get ready, prepare your paper, prepare your favorite marker, okay? Now, those of you on Instagram, then it's just turn you over. And welcome to draw with us. Even if you're not familiar with the Neurographica method, I promise you, it really is not complicated. It's really an amazing way to bring transformation to your life, an amazing way to draw. Okay, give me a second. Just trying how this marker works. Excellent. Okay. Now, for those of you on Facebook, okay, I'm going to transfer my camera. Okay. Voila, we are here. Okay, let me fix my camera. Now, those of you on Instagram, you can see me, I believe, right? You can see me pretty well. Those of you on Facebook, let me fix my camera. There you go. Okay. Actually, I want to use this one. Okay, I found this. This album of mine, my tiny album is full. Using space in this album. I just finished another drawing pad of mine. So voila. Okay, now remember to take the yeah, I'm gonna use this one. Okay, take the financial goal that we worked on that you figured out from yesterday, and let's start this amazing drawing of ours. Remember what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you a fusion of different coaching style, different coaching methods. And hi, Andrea, welcome. I want to say congratulations to you in person. Andrea just became the Neurographica Specialist. Andrea, I'm so proud of you. Excellent work, beautiful drawings, amazing transformation, amazing new Neurographica Specialist now we have. So great. For those of you who want to know more about Neurographica Specialist, join me next Wednesday for a Neurographica presentation, and I will talk a bit about the specialist program that we are actually starting this May. It will take place on May 18 and May 25. So welcome. Okay, let's do this, okay? What are we doing today? Remember yesterday we talked about the 4 different types of 4 different ways we get values, right? Remember we actually wrote down section 1 was something that I want but I don't need, right? Look at your actions, look at your emotions, look at your thoughts, okay? Section 2 was something that I need but I don't want, okay? The section number 3 was something that I want and I need. And section number 4 was something that I don't need and I don't want. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to create an axis here for this, okay? Okay, and the interesting part to note with the meta-modern quadrants is that with the meta-modern quadrants, we tend to have the ability to go up or down as necessary, right? To ascend, to go higher, to grow higher, and also to descend as necessary to bring whatever imagination and fantasy we have to the reality. But we also have a chance to grow wider, right? To go take one topic and just go deeper and go wider within it, right? To grow to the right and grow to the left, okay? Now, even though this is the right side as we see it and this is the left side, the idea should be that if we put it like this, right? If we put it to ourselves, if I put it to my body, right? Then this is the left side and this is the right side. So the left side is the inner growth, right? Inner. And this side is the outer growth, okay? Outer, more social, more has to do with society. Inner growth is, excuse me, Inner growth is where we take, we learn, we hone down, we bring out talent in our learned resources, and then we kind of develop it further and start sharing it with the world. Okay, let's go step by step. Remember what this was, right? What I want, okay, but I don't really need. Something that I want, okay? All I want, don't need, okay? And this is the, I want to bring here, this is the childhood, okay? So over here, what we're going to do now, okay, take that list. If you made that list from yesterday, if you didn't, it's okay. You can just improvise now, okay? And start adding circles. What we're going to do is add circles, okay? Add circles, add the resources. Each circle, each resource is our talent, something we've been born with, okay? Something that we've been given by the universe, by God, whatever your perception is, right? If you want to use the word God, welcome. If you want to use the word universe, divine, welcome to do that, right? Something that you acquired, right? As part of being born. Just draw some circle. When you draw a circle, go over it again, kind of hone down your circles, 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 resources, resources, right? Think about the talents that you have. What is your talent, right? My talent, I'll tell you, my talent is, I want to tell you, I spent 20 years working as a special education teacher, early childhood teacher, developing various programs for various developmental stages, right? Bilingual education, I did a lot. So one of my talents I realized is children. I truly do enjoy being with children. I do enjoy spending time, right? So you can mark each resource with whatever talent you have. You don't have to, right? Another of my talent, and I know, is I like to sing, right? Children, right? I enjoy being with children. I know how to talk to children. I have this innate ability to kind of like, I like a whisper, a child whisper, like I start understanding what's happening within the child, right? Even when I see children, when I go to different various social functions, and I see what's happening with the child, and I see how the parent is trying to do something, and I look at the child and I have this understanding. What is happening with this child? What does the child really want? Remember, children cannot express themselves as openly as adults. Look, there are adults who cannot express themselves, right? But children have an even higher level because they're not fully sure how to express themselves within the social setting, right? So singing is my talent. What else is my talent, right? I believe I'm a born psychologist, so I'm going to take it as a talent, right? I was, my bachelor's degree was in psychology. Even though I got my master's in special education, I also coupled it with a number of psychology courses. So I did more of like psychology, you know, when you take special education courses, you learn a lot about the child psychology. So what else are my talents? Start thinking, okay? You can also bring here certain resources that you've been told by your parents, you've been given by your parents, right? Like I know from my mother, I get the love of reading. Okay, I love reading. Okay, my kids know it. My kids are avid readers. I have certain, all my kids, we're all readers. We all love reading. And that's an amazing quality that I'm so happy that I'm passing on to my children. And that came from my mother. My mother was an avid reader. We always had a huge library. Even when we immigrated from the former Soviet Union to America, I remember it's not easy. Imagine carrying all that stuff, moving yourself, bringing a lot of clothes, you know, necessary. My mother would bring certain china stuff, you know, that was a part of her kind of ancestry, part of her family, right? Heirloom, but my mother brought books. Okay, I remember specifically, she brought, like, I remember specifically 2 or 3 boxes of books. As I'm saying that, I have this vision of me unpacking those books. And that's an important part, right? It's an important part of understanding, connecting, right? Reading is an important part of who I am. And I remember that. Okay. Now, I'm not going to say I'm exactly like that myself, but I did acquire, and that's what you write over here too, your childhood, right? Acquired values from your parents. My mother was a single parent. My parents got divorced. I believe maybe even before I was born, or maybe in the beginning of my birth. So that's why I'm going to talk more about my mother, right? I do believe I received something from my father, but I guess that would be working. Remember, the first thing you do, you work with your mind, with your memory. You can also join and draw some sources, resources, some circles that will be more intuitive, right? And I'm going to say this is from my father, right? We all have genes. We all work together. There's something I received from my father. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't know him well. I saw him a few times, and that was it. But I'm going to write the word father because I know I received something here, right? From my mother, I want to say, if you notice, right, she had the love of jewelry. Okay, that's not something I remember doing it. I think it's something that developed within me for the past few years, right? I wasn't much into wearing jewelry. Mostly, I would wear my wedding band, that was kind of thing. But slowly and surely, right, I started loving wearing jewelry. I started love wearing earrings. I started loving wearing rings, right? As I do more online sessions, I find more rings. This is my new rings that I ordered. I really love it. So I'm gonna write jewelry, right? Okay. Start thinking, what aspect of your life, what are the values? Again, the word is values. What you do in your life, certain emotions, certain ideas, certain thoughts, right? So let's start thinking about it, right? What are my resources, okay? So I'm going to draw a few empty resources that we can always add names to later, okay? Just draw some circles, as many as you want to, really. This is, there are no rules here, okay? Those of you who are not familiar with the neurographic method, I'm going to show you something quickly. I'm going to show you how to do a rounding. A rounding is when you take any intersection and add this little kind of element where you are filling in and you're fusing the intersection of two lines, okay? So what we're going to do next is connect to all your talents, connect to all your resources, just draw some neural lines that will connect them together, okay? And that's what it is, okay? Remember, go through all of your connections, go through all of your intersections, and what? And round all of the intersections out, okay? Start thinking when we do, those of you who know how to do the reflection process, welcome to do this. This would be a great way to connect, reflect, transform, kind of reevaluate all those values. Start, you can add more, like I said, for the sake of the time. This may take much longer. Let's say if I would do it in a closed practice, it would take me maybe 2 hours. But since this is an open session, I want to keep it within an hour of limit, right? So I'm just gonna do this, right? Like I said, add more circles if you want, right? You can always add the context. Again, use the list that you made yesterday and add the context, add the names for each resource, for each circle from that list, okay? That's a great aid. Now, excuse me. Let's do the following, okay? Start thinking, start breathing. It's very important to breathe. Kind of involve, bring in your body to bring in the transformation, the realization, the understanding of each one of your talents, each one of your values. By the way, your talents are also a part of your values. Remember how some people get born with hidden talents. They go through life without discovering, right? Have you ever seen those? I know I love to see it. My husband loved to see it, and he shared with me those American Idol, I think, or something like that, right? Where people come and they're like salesperson, they're like nothing to do with singing, right? And the jurors in the show, right, specifically with Simon, right, Simon Cowell, he's very skeptical, right? He always like rounds his eyes and is like, okay, there you go, another wannabe singer. And then I remember one of them is Pol Pot's. Definitely watch that one. Just write Pol Pot's in YouTube. It's one of the most watched videos of American Idol. And he starts singing and people start crying. That's how beautiful he sings, right? So that's what it is. You know, a lot of times people have talents that are not discovered, that that are hidden within them. And that's because, right, people have different values. Maybe one of the values was that they were told, you're not a good singer, right? They were told by their parents, but they have a talent. One way or another, their talent goes through, right? One way or another, they get discovered. They start shining, even if they don't go to American Idol. When I put the word sing, by the way, here, that was one of the part. When I was a child, I was a part of the choir. I'm going to actually put another one here that would be dancing, right? Whenever you, by the way, whenever you have a circle, make sure you have a neural line going through that circle. Why? Because that's how your circles kind of get involved, get transformed, get kind of manifested. Okay, I'm gonna write the word dance here. I love dancing, okay? Dancing is my life. I love singing. Singing was something that I came upon later, right? And when I was a child, I'm more into dancing. So I have a lot of expressiveness within me, right? Now, when I was, I think 3 years ago now, right? 2 years ago, maybe it was, I don't remember. Yes, it was in 2020 before the pandemics, right? I was a part of another choir. I actually, before that, I took private local vocal sessions, right? That, and the lady who gave me, she was a big professional. And she told me you have an amazing vocal ability. She said to me, she said, if you would develop it as a child, you would be able to have like opera singing or like, Broadway show kind of singing abilities. And I worked on that, that was something of my dream to kind of bring again, remember, that was a talent that wasn't much discovered because I didn't have that value in my life that I might be a singer or I'm good at singing, right? But later on, whether you want it or not, your values go through, they break through. It may take them less time, it may take them more time, but they do break through and you do bring your talents and make them your open conscious values. Okay, even still now, I love singing. We do singing. We do a lot of singing at home. My younger daughter, she was doing the whole show yesterday from Limbis, right? And it was so amazing. I thought that our values, certain great values, right? And don't we all want that? We want our great values to be passed on to our children. Okay, so over here now, let's go to the next quadrant. Remember, in meta-modern quadrants, the way we work is number one is not here. Number one is here, okay? So this is one. I'm going to write it as a numerical value. You can also do it regularly. 1. This is 2. This is 3. Okay. 2, 3. And this is what my dear friend Lana said yesterday. This is 4, right? Actually, write it here, 4. And this is a numerical Roman 4, right? Anyway, so what we're doing in this section is we're talking about something, I need to do this, okay? But I'm not sure I want to, okay? It's right here, don't want to. Now, who does this remind us of? That's right, teenagers, right? Teenagers are all about, that's right here, teens or teen years, right? Teenager development, right? And teenager development, we talked about it yesterday, is about separation, right? Separating, I felt the need to add one more circle. I'm going to do that while I'm explaining it to you. Separation is an important part of the development of the human developmental stages, right? It's important to start separating yourself from the values that were given to you by your parents, right? Remember, childhood, you don't make your own values. You are discovering how the world works, and that mostly works through your parents, through your caregivers, right? Teenage years, when you decide, I want to reevaluate my life. You discovered that the world is not exactly happy and dandy like it was given to you during your childhood, right? Because parents try to what? Always give an idealistic world, the best of the world to their children. And the children grow up thinking, oh, the world is so beautiful. And once you become teenagers, people start looking and saying, whoa, what's happening here? What's happening here? The world is not the beautiful place that we've been told, we've been seeing in those cartoons in our childhood. There's so many bad things happening in the world. And part of that realization is for them to start making their choices, for them to start making their values before they go to the third part, which is adulthood. I'm going to tell you right away. Before they decide, they need to look at the world and start forming their own values. What does it mean? They need to look at this, every bad things that, or whatever seems to them as a bad thing within their world, and start thinking, what can I do to improve? Kind of understand that it's part to them, part of it's their responsibility to get involved in the world and start doing something about it, start improving the world, start bringing, transformation, changes within the world that will balance the world to the good. Okay, and that's the idea here, right? During the teen years, right? Start thinking, what happened with you during the teen years? What were the values? What were the ideas, the thoughts, maybe certain emotions that you underwent, right? Even if you don't fully remember anything, start bringing circles, right? Start bringing certain resources, right? Circles are resources, circles are something. They can be blind, which means they will be empty. We don't really know. Not everybody may remember what were they like teenage-wise. Some people may, right? I know that I was a late teenager, right? So there you go, right? This was a part. And I would say that bring in certain values here that you may not be so happy about yourself, right? Certain things that you do, that you're like, I wish I would be, like how people say, I wish I would be more confident, right? When people do, a lot of time when people talk about finances, they say, I wish I would be more comfortable asking my boss for a raise. I wish I would be more confident. I wish I believe in myself more, right? Where somebody comes up and tell them, you're amazing, right? I have an imposter syndrome video, open video I did a year ago. Welcome to watch that. And that's part of it, right? When people come up and say, you are amazing. I loved you. You're an amazing parent. You're an amazing psychologist. You are so awesome. And you're looking at them like, what are you talking about? I really did nothing. I'm not a big deal. I mean, there are people who are much, much better than me, right? And that's a value kind of, right? A value is, that's something we can draw within the childhood, right? That's value is something we'll learn from a parent. Maybe our parents said, you need to be more, what do you call that? You need to be not shy, but you shouldn't be talking too much, you need to be quiet. You should be modest, right? The word modest comes to mind, right? Modest, not just in clothing, but also in your behavior, right? You shouldn't be like, try to take too much attention from others, right? Kind of this inhibition, something we call complexes, right? Developing various complexes within kids. Okay, you can add that here, by the way. Whenever you add a circle like that, where it's a bit negative, where you feel kind of uncomfortable about it, what I invite you to do is draw a number of neural lines inside the circle and then round them out. When you round it out, you add harmony. Rounding, the reason why we do rounding in Neurographica is to bring harmony, to add harmony to the transformation process, okay? So welcome to do that, right? And I'm gonna bring the neural line from the top to the down, right? From the upper quadrant to the bottom quadrant, right? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna start talking about the fact that start thinking that my childhood, where I grew up, right, influences the way we kind of act as teenagers, right? Teenage years usually would be either extremely, right, reactive, boom, right? I have to do this, but I don't want to, right? Complaining, or better yet, doing something, just not doing what I need to do, not doing what I'm being asked for, right? Being quite what? The word is oppositional, right? But also the teen years might be passive opposition, right? Not talking about it, not openly opposing, but kind of harboring your thoughts inside, your emotions inside, keeping it in, even though you don't agree, even though you feel like, my daughter joked once, oh, what am I, Cinderella, that I have to do something for you when I ask her to clean up or something? I said, well, in that case, I kind of took out some beans and I said, maybe I should mix beans and rice now, and you're going to sit down and take apart, because with Cinderella, part of what Cinderella did was kind of, quote to say, quote unquote, meaningless work, right? Isn't that the idea, right? That what she did was mostly meaningless, although she did meaningful work as well, right? Cleaning and everything. But the idea was that, she had no possibility, she had no personality, not personality, she had no perseverance, or she did not oppose openly, right? Rather, she would oppose quietly, right? Remember, singing and crying and talking to herself about how unfair she feels about everything. But openly, she did not oppose. Openly, she would just do what the evil character, in this case, it's a stepmother, would tell her, right? The stepsisters, right? That's the idea, right? The idea is, how was your teenage years? And start thinking, what were the values you were struggling with? What were the values you felt like you don't want to take, but then you ended up taking, or maybe not taking? Think about what you do now that has to do with this notion. I need to do this. I don't really want to, okay? Or I need to do this, but I don't want to. I'm not going to do this, right? Think about this oppositional behavior that you express. What do you do? Anything, any actions, any thoughts, emotions, right? Bring in some emotions. Emotions, we truly need to work on our emotional work, right? I have an idea. My year is already planned for this year. I already planned what I'm doing and what I'm learning and what I'm teaching. I already have a beautiful trainer that teaches about emotions. So we're going to do a whole course on emotions, learning how to bring emotions to the world, right? This year I'm focusing more on the body, right? The connection of body dynamics, body image, right? So that's what it is. The truth is body image, talking about body image and the involvement of the body wasn't much of my value, right? Until recently, until a few years ago, when I started working on it quite actively, right? So that's an interesting part. It's an interesting way to understand how to do everything, okay? So start understanding what are your values, right? For your values, by the way, talking about body, right? Some people will have the value of right, analytical thinking, right, thinking everything, overthinking, and some people will have the value of emotional response, right? Everything is very emotional, right? Think about it. This is an emotional response, right? I need to do this, but I don't want to, right? It's like kind of a cry for help. Help me. Don't know why am I stuck doing something I don't want. But the question is, are you really stuck? Is that something you really don't want? And if you don't want to do this, why are you doing it? Okay. Ask yourself that question. Take certain actions, certain things that fit this criteria that you're saying, I'm doing it. I need to do this, but I don't want to, right? Yesterday I mentioned the example of, for me, doing dishes. I hate doing dishes. I love cooking. Cleaning and dishes to me is like, oh, okay, I have to do it. I'll do it, but it's not like I'm enjoying it. Okay. Well, I know people. I have an aunt. Once she comes over, I know I don't have to do dishes because she loves doing dishes, and she tells me, okay, don't forget to leave the dishes to me. Okay. And I want to tell you, her children love doing dishes. Isn't that funny? There you go. Certain values, certain ideas children take from their parents. Okay. And if dishes is a good point here, right? They may also be not such good ones. So start thinking through this, start seeing how do you react? What is your attitude? Are you openly oppositional? Are you closely oppositional to something that you have to do, I need to do, right? When you say need, that means you must, you have to, but you are not as interested, okay? You don't like it. You're not enjoying it, okay? Now, I do want to bring the idea that it is a part of life. We do need to have this stage in life where we do what we need to do, right? Like I said, like dishes. If I don't do dishes, then what happens? I have no dishes to eat from, and then my house will be a mess. I definitely do not like mess in my house. That I want to tell you is my value for sure. I hate messiness. So that is a part of my value that will bring me to either do the dishes myself, or God bless whoever created the dishwasher, right? Or put things in the dishwasher, right? Isn't that a part of it? And that's how you figure out what are your values, okay? You see what happens? My value is not doing dishes. I hate it. I don't like it. But since my value is to keep a nice, unmessy home, I would hate the smell of the dirty dishes. I would hate, I'll be honest with you, even visually, I would hate seeing the dirty dishes. Remember, every time I do the dishes, do you guys have this? Connect with me if you do. Every time I do the dishes, I love just taking some time and looking at that empty sink, beautiful and shiny, right? And just looking and breathing in and saying, oh, it's so beautiful to see an empty, shiny, clean sink with no dishes. Okay. Do you go through that? Let me know. You can put it in the message now. I'm just interested, right? Am I the only one? Okay. So we work through I want, right? The expression of the childhood. I want. And then teens are I need. And sometimes I don't want to do something that will have to pay for what I need, right? And it's about, again, working through your willpower, figuring out you don't want to do this, again, like what I mentioned with the dishes, right? You may not want to do it, but you will do it in order to feed the other important value, which is, in my case, was what? Cleanliness and unmessiness of the house, okay? And by the way, I got that from my mother. I do want to know that. Okay, I do want to give the credit where it's due, right? So I do want to say thank you to mom for that, because she did give it to me. Yeah. Now let's go to the third part. Remember, third part is adulthood. What do adults say? They say, I take what I want, and I take what I need. Okay? Adults, again, think about it from the way children view adults, right? What do they think? They're like, adults do whatever they want. That childhood, how we children think is, the famous joke when the child asks a parent or an adult, what do you do after I go to sleep? Do you play with my toys, right? This idea that adults do whatever they want to, whatever they need to. And it's true in a way, right? That's the point of being an adult. We get to decide. I want this. Do I get it? Do I not get it? Do I need it? Do I not need it? Right? You figure it out. You analyze. You make decisions, right? That's called making decisions, right? And right, isn't that what we tell adults, right? If you're a fellow coach or a psychologist, right? Sometimes you tell it to your client, you say, you're an adult, you have to make decisions, right? That's what it is, right? Adults make decisions. Adults get to decide, do I want this, I take it. Do I need it? I need it, I take it. Okay, you're open. There are no inhibitions, more or less. We all know there are inhibitions, right? We will go forward later. But for now, we're adults, right? We do what we want. We get what we need, what we want. Let's work with that. Look at the list that you made yesterday. I want and I need. What are the actions? What are the thoughts? What are the ideas, the emotions associated with this section, okay? I want and I need, right? I'm going to give you an example, let's say, of my jewelry, right? So we'll be overlapping things by the way here, right? So clothing, if I need clothing, I go and I buy, right? As opposed to, let's say, children, right? When children buy, children don't buy clothing for themselves, right? You buy clothing for them. And in a way, you influence and you kind of judge and you decide, do you want to buy this dress for your child or, for your daughter? Do you want to buy this shirt for your daughter or you don't, right? or your son, do you want to buy the pants or not? You get to decide kind of for them. They don't decide. You guys all know this, right? When the kids come, I want to buy this toy, and you're like, and you're an adult, you're figuring out, you're like, the toy costs this much. Do I have this money in the budget? And sometimes people don't care about the budget, right? Let's be honest here, right? When it comes to kids, people buy stuff. The idea, they're like, do I buy this toy? I'm going to spend this much money, and I know she's going to break it, or she's not going to play with it after a week, and I'm spending that much money. So one way or another, adults make decisions. Adults get to decide for children. Adults get to decide for teenagers. And that's part of what teenagers don't like. They're like, what do you get to decide? I want to wear this shirt. I want to wear that shirt. I want to, and that's, again, a part of their development. It is important for children. Actually, with me, I practice this. I'm a very progressive parent, right? Being an educator myself and learning everything and seeing things, not just as a parent, but also as an educator. I would teach my children from very early age over here how to choose clothing, how to make choices. It was very important for me. The idea that so many adults don't know how to make choices because they were never taught, because they were never given the possibility or the, the opportunity to do it when they were children, right? So with me, I remember my mother-in-law came once and she saw how my daughter, she was 2, she was going to daycare. Yes, and she would choose her own clothing when she was 2, that's right. And she saw me allowing her to choose clothing. And she goes to me, you are letting her choose clothes? I said, yeah, of course. She said, what do you mean? What's going to happen next? And she goes to me, you have no idea what you're creating here. You're going to create something not good. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, she's going to ask you to make choices every single step of her life. Can you imagine how horrible would that be? And I looked at it and I said, no, that would be wonderful. That would be absolutely magnificent if she would learn how to make choices in life. Okay. And that's my daughter's personality, right? She, like I said, she was a teenager when she was 8. She lives on her own. She's a very independent person. And she sometimes calls me and she asks me, Mom, what do you think I should do here and there? And those are more, adult questions. She has a lot of adult questions, right? She's a very mature person. She lives by herself. She pays for her, she works, she earns money, she pays for rent. The idea was here that I want to say I'm very proud of her, that she's still, she's learning. And I'm very happy that I started it early on when I started teaching children to make choices, right? I know for myself, I have a hard time making choices. Again, let me know if you're a person like that, right? Where I go to the restaurant and when they have choices, looking at that menu, I can take hours because I want this and I want that. And I never know, even though I already know looking at going to this restaurant that I know what I like from this restaurant, the possibilities drive me crazy. And that's part of my childhood when I was not given a chance to make choices at all. That wasn't the value of my mother, right? Again, we're talking about values. My mother-in-law also didn't have that value, right? So my husband didn't grow up like that either. And we learn together, right? We learn, and this is a great way, right? One of the ways when you interact with children, one of the ways you having children parenting is for you to kind of, again, reevaluate certain values, transform your values, figure out, do you still agree with that values, right? Certain things, right? When I look at my children, when I did certain things, I would think, that's not how I did it when I was a child. And certain things I would say, I do exactly what I did when I was a child, right? Reading certain stories, bringing certain values of kindness and love and care to others, right? Those are the values that I received from my mother, from my parents, from the world around me, I would say, from my caregivers, and I want to give it further to my children, right? Talking about values, my mother-in-law she graduated conservatory. She's a professional musician. She has a beautiful voice. She likes to sing. She sings a lot. And she actually, she loved singing. I remember whenever she would babysit the kids, she would always sing to them. And I thought that was such a beautiful value, right? To me back then, remember, I only discovered it recently, but back when my older children were younger, it wasn't a value to me singing. It wasn't a value in my household. It wasn't a value to me. When my mother-in-law would do that, it was so beautiful. And I truly enjoyed it. And I was so happy that she gets to bring this value again. Certain values that we bring, and that's a part of adulthood, by the way, part of adulthood, the adult quadrant, the adult area of life, the adult stage is where we figure out what I want, what I need, right? And that involves forming partnership, finding a significant other, decision. Do you get married? You know, there's a lot of people who don't get married, who just believe in not marrying. And there'll be, again, and that's a value that they develop and they bring to life. And then there are people who do believe in marriage and they do get married. They have children, they form families, they have children. And that's what we're talking about. When you have children, that's a new level of re-evaluation. Who you are, what you would like to do, how would you like to do certain things, and how everything works, okay? So there you go, voila. Figure it out, okay? Figure out your values. Okay, now, oh, I see a circle that has no line, so I'm gonna make sure to bring a line here. Okay, we're gonna go further. 11, yeah, we're gonna need to finish up. I'm gonna show you how to go further. The next stage, right? The next stage, stage number 4, excuse me, is the stage we refer to as wisdom. It's a wisdom stage. It's a stage, if having children in the beginning is how you started understanding why your parents did certain things and why your parents behaved a certain way when you were a child, right? And you would be mad and sad and say, why did she do this? When you grow up and you start dealing with your own children, you're like, oh, now I know why she did it, right? So wisdom age, if we're talking about years wide, right, developmentally, wisdom age would be turning into a grandparent, right? And I remember my mother, I remember being surprised when certain things, when I did with my children, my mother would be like, oh, don't do this is not right. Or she would act differently towards certain things that my children did than she would do to me, right? Grandparents are different, right? They're not as strict. They're not as, they will have a different view, right? And I remember being surprised thinking, hey, when I did it when I was a child, you know, she was all mad at me. But now that my child does it, she's not mad, you know, and she's telling me, don't get mad, don't like discipline too much, you know. And that's what happens. You get to the wisdom age, right? The wisdom age. Okay. And the motto here, the phrase that we say here is find some things that you do where you say, no, you get to this realization, I don't want this. You realize that desires, you know, this transcendental age, right? This transcendental area, this area where you start viewing as things is exactly what it is. They're just things. They're not as important in life, right? You get to decide, I don't want something and I don't need something, right? And this is the time where you start realizing that there are certain values in your life that you don't want and you don't need, but somehow you keep them around, right? Why? Right? What can you do about it? And you start working on that, right? And you start kind of honing your skills and you start transforming yourself, right? Bringing here, I spoke about it yesterday. A lot of times people would put in here negative emotions, right? Like I said, emotions is completely different talk, but start bringing here certain things, okay? Certain things, certain actions, certain goals. We're talking about goals, right? Maybe certain goals of yours. When you look at it, you're like, why do I want it, right? Certain things you wanted to do, but maybe you didn't get to do, right? What is it that something that I don't really need it? I don't really want it, right? I'll give you an example. For me, for example, it would be, let me tell you, I'll give you an example. My kids, I homeschooled my kids for many years. My older kids, my younger kids, I'm going to start drawing more, right? So homeschooling, when I got to homeschooling and I started discovering it and doing more, and I got this realization where I realized that formal education, I don't want it. I didn't enjoy it when I was a child, and I don't need it. This is the important part to understand, right? I don't want it and I don't need it. Okay. So that's an interesting idea to go through, right? That's an interesting understanding. When certain things, I mean, it took me quite some time when it was my younger children. Again, they were homeschooled for quite a number of years too. It took me some time to kind of trust back, and it took me a long time to find the school, the educational institution that that I was comfortable with, okay, that I would trust, that I felt that my value, I don't really need, I don't believe in formal education. So, for example, my kids now go to school that is a small school, right, with small classes, very individual attention. I mean, they have like what the maximum amount of kids they have in school is like per class is like, I think 12, 11, right? Which is a good thing, you know, which gives you a chance to kind of have a more individual work with teachers if necessary, you know, more attention per child, right? It's a private school, right? So I'm happy. It has the values. When I chose the school, I remember talking to the principal and starting to understand her educational approach, her idea, her thoughts, her views and many things in life, right? And seeing how my values kind of work together or go together with the values of the principal, how every year when I talk to the teachers, watching how the teachers act, the way they act, their values, right? Their values, remember, everything we do, the way they act, we kind of reveals their values, right? And I say, yeah, you know, I get happy. And like I said, it's a small knit community, it's a small school, and parents get to know each other, and I get to know other parents. And it's, you know, it's, again, finding out that we share many values together. We share many views, understanding of how to act with children, right? One of the things was last year, right? I was at a social function. I was at a dinner at somebody's house, and one of the teachers, one of my youngest daughter's teacher, was there, and she was talking about how they practice in school meditational approach. They do meditations in the morning. They do like meditational affirmations in the morning. Now, I have a kind of a different approach. You know, my approach toward affirmation, that it's great, but it doesn't always work. But that's for adults, right? For children, I think affirmations are amazing. And I remember thinking, wow, how amazing is that? I remember thinking, bullseye, you know, I really hit a jackpot with this teacher who, A, she is amazing with her ideas, and B, I really hit a jackpot with the principal who allows, you know, this kind of educational experiments, right? And good educational experiments. Many principals would not do that. Many principals would not be okay with using, you know, non-educational practices in school, but she does. And I was so happy. I was so relieved. And I remember then another conversation I heard with, and I heard that before, right? There was a saying, my nephew would say that, right? We went over and he said once, there was something they were arguing about, something somebody got or didn't get, and he goes to them. He was a child. He was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 3 maybe. In preschool, he learned this. He said, you get what you get and you don't get upset, right? So I knew this saying. So recently, again, last year, right? When we went somewhere, we were together and the principal was there, we were discussing something and the teachers were there. And something that somebody said, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And the principal said, actually in our school, we say, And if you do, it's okay. And that truly, again, brought me to this realization, jackpot, you know, where the emotional part of a child is accepted, is allowed to feel upset. It's okay if you get upset, right? You get what you get and you don't get upset. But if you do, it's okay. Again, allowing children to have various emotions and various ways of expressing yourself, expressing the way a person feels. So that was an important, again, this is an example about values, right? Think about it. When you decide, when you get to make decisions, but it's more than being an adult, it's more of a decision when you get to figure out what your value is. And that's what over here, that's the wisdom part, okay? Wisdom, the fourth quadrant, if the previous three is always following each other, building upon each other, you kind of don't choose, okay? The fourth quadrant is about choosing. You know, this I want. I may not need it, but I want it, I'm gonna get it, or I want it, I don't need it, I'm not gonna get it, right? This is about, yeah, certain things I need to do. That's a part of life, you know, and it's okay. And this is about, you know, connecting to what you need, what you want, what you need, and how to bring it together, how to transform it, how to bring it to your realization, okay? And that's the fourth quadrant, okay? Finding your values. Okay, now, I want you to do, okay, an important exercise that goes beyond, that will be your homework. I want you to take your goal and write it down and start connecting it to your, remember we talked about values. What we did here was discussion of values, kind of transforming, understanding it further. What I want you to do is the way we tie in values with a goal, we take a goal, okay? Look at the list of the values that you wrote, add more to it, take some more time, figure out again what you want, but you don't need, what you need, but you don't want, what you want and what you need. And also write down, don't forget to write down. Remember, this part is where we start getting rid of certain ideas when I don't want it and I don't need it. Start getting rid of this ideas of this values. Okay, you need to be in wisdom stage in order to be able to see that certain things you don't want and you don't need, they're not your values. They were given to you by somebody, maybe your parent, right? Maybe social environment, maybe your teacher, maybe school, right? Maybe TV has been telling you to do this, you know. I haven't watched TV for 10 years, maybe regular TV. I get to choose what I watch, which means I don't watch advertisement. I started paying for YouTube Premium, I don't know, a few years already. I pay and I don't, I think it's a great way to pay where I'm not forced to see what other people can decide whether I want to see it or not, right? So I don't watch advertisement, but advertisement is the way the social environment or corporation, whatever you want to view it, okay? Others telling you what to do, what to like, how something should be enjoyed, even if it's against your value, right? Certain people make a conscious choice. They don't want to do this. They don't want to see other people's involvement in their personal decision-making. Okay, and that's what it is. Now, the exercise here, the idea here is this, okay? Take your goal, okay? I'm going to give you an example. Where are my pencils, okay? Now, remember, if you want to complete it as a full Neurographica picture, remember to put in something we call a field lines. I took out pencils, I'm going to add color, but remember, we're gonna, I'm going to bring vertical, right? What are field lines? Again, welcome to watch. I have an open video on each step of the algorithm. There's another step being added, or already been added, that we will be discussing. Everybody, I'm inviting everybody to join the basics course. If you took the basic with me, welcome to join this cohort where we get to discuss what the last, the new, not last, actually, it's next to the last. What is the new, what is the new part of the steps of the algorithms, right? But for now, we are doing the step of the algorithm number 5, which is called Field lines, okay? Field lines is support, connecting to the universe, telling the universe your, kind of giving your, what do you call that? Bringing your idea, your goal, kind of sharing with the universe and asking universe for support, right? That's the ideal field lines, support lines, okay? Support from universe, sharing with the universe and saying, you know, universe, I think this would be amazing. When you share this with the universe, right? The idea is to share with the universe. Why, right? Imagine it's like a bank. When you come to ask money from the bank says, why do I give you money? Same thing with the universe. You say, why? The universe asking, why do I need to give it to you? Why should I aid you? Why should I give you support? And here where you see your values as well. One part would be, some people would say, well, just because I wanted to, just because I asked for it. And that would be enough. You know, they really do have that value that they get what they want. They have this value and the parents give it to them, right? That whenever they would ask for something, they would receive it, right? So they have a relationship with the universe where they get what they want. It may not happen right away, it may not happen straight away, but they end up getting what they want, okay? For some people, it would be bargaining with the universe, saying, you know, if you do this for me, I'll do something else, right? Again, and it's a value. Values like this, patterns of behavior, usually come from childhood. They usually come through the way our parents gave us things, the way we would get things from parents, right? Would it be a bargain? Would it be, and bargaining comes in the beginning, right? When children would be taught during eating time, right? Eat this and I let you watch TV, right? Children learn that that's how the world works. It's a bargain. I have to do, you know, tit for tat, right? We have to do something for something, right? And some people will have an understanding that they will only get something if they're good, right? This idea, this dogma that only good people, bad children don't receive anything, and good children, they receive something, right? This kind of, I would say, most of the time it's religious-based dogma, right? Where the values in the Bible, again, I'm not saying that's how it is, by the way, I don't believe in that, but that's how it's interpreted. It was interpreted for many years, for many centuries to people, that the way God views humans, and then parents repeat that, is that you only get something if you deserve it. If you don't get it, that means you didn't deserve it. If you got it, that means you were good. If you didn't get it, right? Originally, it was the other way around. You were good, I will give it to you. But the notion that people would learn would be, if I didn't get it, that means I wasn't good. That means I'm not a good person. I'm not a good daughter. I'm not a good wife, etc., etc. You put in the role of your choice, okay? And again, start viewing your relationship patterns. How do you view something? When you get something, when your goal comes true, what is your realization? Do you see that, oh, it came true because I'm a good person? Oh, look, because I did this, you know, I gave charity and I got something back, you know? Is there in your mind that it only works with tat? Is there in your mind that that's because I'm a good girl, that I did something good, you know, like kind of a childhood kind of relationship, right? I act good and I get good, right? We know life is much more complex than that. We know bad things happen to good people. We all know ideas like that, right? And good things happen to not such good people, right? So we understand life is much more, you know, much more complex than just a simple, you know, relationship like that. So start becoming aware what's your relationship. Now, what I'm inviting you to do is whenever you take your goal, okay, take your goal, let's say, just give you an example, that's not my goal, but an example, my goal is, here, I'm gonna show you what to do. Now you're gonna do writing down. Finish up the picture, okay, guys? Remember to add the affixing shape. I'm gonna do the affixing shape. You can choose one of the categories that you feel needs more resources for your affixing shape. You can do it in the middle, thus involving all four of them. I'm going to do my affixing shape here. You can do it intuitively, by the way. You can do it analytically. You can do it intuitively. For me, intuitively, it comes up here, right? I'm trying to, and you can add a meaning to it. You can understand it, or you don't have to always understand things. Sometimes when you do things intuitively, that's exactly what it is. You do it intuitively, you intuitively believe in it, right? So I'm going to show you now how to say certain phrases, to do certain things, to ask certain questions, right? Those of you who took the intro to coaching course with me, you remember how we would talk about questions being an important part. And when, keeping in mind that what I'm sharing with you is a coaching method, a coaching practice, right? Which means questions are important, okay? Ask yourself questions, answer them. If you're doing it as a self-coaching, you're welcome to do this with your clients, with your friends, right? If you want to learn more about the way the quadrants work, the way to do work in this kind of grid, you know, structural, it's called structural systemic approach to field work, to any question, any goal in mind, right? Where you divide it into 4 and then work through the sequence of working together, right? Figuring out how it works, okay? Welcome to join. So if you want to learn how to do this, welcome to join the Bogabon coaching program. It truly is an amazing way to get to know. Now, I'm going to use oil pastels to color because I enjoy doing it. That's the reason why I added the field lines and the, okay. Trying to think what color do I want to add to my, okay, add the color. Those of you who wants to know more about oil pastels, I do talk about, should make an open session about various ways to draw Neurographica, but I do talk about it and we do discuss it during the basics course. Okay, so welcome again to join the course this coming Sunday, this coming Wednesday, I'm sorry, not Sunday. And that's again talking about values, right? That's my value. I don't teach on weekends. I get to spend time with my children on weekend, and that's very important. I remember doing a few times. I did a teaching. I did a few sessions on Sundays, and that was such a nuisance to me that after that I realized, you know what? Nope, no more. I am not doing any more sessions on Sunday because it's just not a part of, it's not comfortable for me. I don't want to take, and that's how it is. Certain thing, again, everything you do is based upon your values, right? It took me some time and I realized, and I never schedule sessions, courses, private sessions. I don't just schedule on Sunday. I don't schedule them on the evening when my kids come home and I want to spend time with them. I want to kind of focus on them more, right? And again, that's what it is, right? Okay. So again, values are very important, okay? Let me add some color. Wait, where it goes here. Okay, I'm adding color by sections, okay? Right. You're welcome to add color separately. You can color the circle separately. You can create different color flow. You can do that. I may just, again, use your creativity, use your creative expressions to add the color the way you want to do it, okay? I have my own motif I'm going with here. Here I'm going to do, wait. I'm going by the elements, by 5 elements, which is how I like to add color, right? The Wiggsing system, the elements of development, right? Those of you who wants to know how it works quadrant-wise, again, I did it in the session on Tuesday. Welcome to watch the video. One of the quadrants is talking about elements. But I want to bring the blue here. Right. Certain flow. Right, I'm adding color to my, remember the fixing shape. Most of the time, people do not add color to it. My suggestion is definitely to add color to your fixing shape. Look how amazing it looks with the color. Imagine if it would have no color, it would look completely different. Like if you rewind, if you're watching this in recording, rewind it and look how when I added the shape, but there was no color, it looks differently. Once you add the shape, you're adding, you know, like kind of an emotional part to it. You're adding a different understanding. You're adding the fixing shape is the representation, is the way we see the future. Once my goal is realized, right? When you add the fixing shape, you can ask, once your goal is realized, or you ask yourself, once my goal is realized, what will happen? How will I change once my goal is realized, right? One of my favorite coaching questions. And you start thinking, what would happen to me? And that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? Take your goal. I'm going to give you an example. I want to tell you this in examples. A second. Okay. Okay. So this is what you can do. Give me a second. Okay. Write down your goal. Okay. I'm going to work with examples. Example, let's say my goal for now is to have people, right, since I'm starting the Bogoban coaching program. So my goal was for this drawing, right, for today's session was to get the course rolling, you know, to get people to sign up and all of that stuff, okay? So, so what is my goal here? So what am I working with, right? So the question I'm going to ask myself, this is my goal. And the question I'm asking myself is, when I will reach this goal, what will I achieve? You're going to ask this question yourself more and more and more, okay? So ask yourself a question. I'm asking myself, once I reach this goal, what will I achieve? What will this bring me? Okay, two questions, two ways to ask. Either what will this bring me, or once I reach this goal, what will I achieve? Okay, let's say I'm going to say this. So why do I want this goal achieved, right? Once I achieve this goal, what will it bring me? It will bring me a great new transformational tool, I'm going to say, okay? Now, ask that question again. What will this bring me, okay? Now we're focusing on this. So, okay, the idea is that why do you want this goal? What do you need it for, right? So once I achieve a great new transformational tool, what will this bring me? And I say, oh, this brings me more practice in this field, okay? And then question again, what will this bring me? Why do I want to achieve this goal? Why do I need it? Why is it necessary? Again, what will this bring me? More understanding, okay? More understanding of this tool. And I continue asking the question, what will this bring me? This will bring me more creativity within my life. Oh, go figure, right? I never would think that teaching this has to do with creativity, but that's what it is. You get to connect it further and further. You get to discover what values are associated with this goal, okay? Ask more, go further, more creativity. What will this bring me? And the answer that I'm getting, listen to the answer within yourself. I'm doing it quicker. You take your time and do it slower, okay? And I'm saying this will bring me to, so more creativity. What will this bring me? Something comes like my soul's thirst, right? For interesting knowledge, right? You get a lot of insights here, by the way. My soul's thirst for knowledge and transformation. Okay, and I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping until I get to some kind of a very, very, very deep core value. You will know when you get to that. You will know when you get to the point where you're like, this is it. It will click with you. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do this more. Okay, so once I get to my soul's thirst for knowledge and transformation, what will this bring me? okay? Again, reread what you wrote and then continue asking, what will this bring me? My mission tells me, interesting. And what is my mission? What will this bring me? Transformation of the world, right? So transformation of the world, what will this bring me? Tells me myself. Okay, my transformation, okay. You see? What will this bring me? My soul, okay. And as I'm saying this, I realize that I'm clicking in, I'm getting to something. Like when I say my soul, I feel this is it. You know, again, it's partially intuitive, partially analytical work. When I get to my soul, I said, this is it. I understand how, you know, I'm getting to this part where this is it. This is the latest level. This is the deepest level I go in, right? Remember how those of you who watch the pyramid of consciousness, right? When we go deeper and deeper within the layer of consciousness and subconsciousness, right? And this is what it is. When you do this exercise, this is an amazing, amazing exercise to get any goal to connect with your values. It takes time. So within this program, because this is a psychology of money program, right? I am taking time to make sure that my goal, right, is connected here. My goal is connected to my value. So because this is a comprehensive financial program, take your financial goal. I gave an example now, financial goal, because I feel like it will be more understanding, right? An example, but take your financial goal and start doing the same thing. Ask yourself, why do you want this goal? Ask your question. Read it out loud, right? What I did, then say, what will this bring me? Write an arrow and then write it down, okay? Use your exercise. And then, this is the interesting part, pay attention, right? Then you say, you go backwards, right? You go step by step and formulate your goal in a different way. You say, okay, you say it like this, my soul and myself, my transformation and transformation of the world and my mission and my soul's thirst for knowledge and transformation and more creativity and more understanding, right? Going back, more understanding of the tool and more practice in this field and a great new transformational tool. And then you say this phrase, okay? And all of this will, and all of this will bring me to the realization of my goal. And then you reread the goal, right? Which in my case is forming, you know, getting participants, getting people to sign up for the Bogabon coaching program, okay? This sentence will make a difference. What you just did now is that you took your values. First of all, you discovered how your goal is discovered to your values, and you took the values and you kind of tied them in. And not just that, but you also kind of said that this will bring me to the realization of my goal. Okay, kind of bringing a different part of it, kind of giving support to your goal. You see what happens? Support to your goal. Remember the field lines we discussed, the support lines? That's what happens. You're bringing support to your lines, okay, to your goal. That's a support. You're bringing as a support your values, your ancestral connections, right? The values that come to you, not just within this lifetime, the previous lifetime, the values given to you by parents, the values that you picked out and you chose for yourself, whatever values, right, you have here, you connected it, and you gave support to your goal. And that's one of the amazing parts, something unique that we do in this program. I'm sure you haven't seen this anywhere else, right? Definitely something that I'm inviting you to do, okay? I'm gonna finish up the session. I want to thank you for your attention, thank you for joining me. Thank you for drawing with me. Thank you for listening to me. Give me a second. Let me transfer my camera so we can see each other. Okay. Okay. So again, what happened today? You happened. Welcome, welcome. I'm back. Those of you on Instagram, I'm here. So we officially have started the Psychology of Program Money today. I am giving you 2 to 3 sessions to kind of preview the course, to kind of understand more, to make a decision to join this amazing, magnificent transformational course. Feel free to PM me, feel free to reach out to me. Welcome to join the course. Welcome to discover how you can bring transformation within your life, how you can bring transformation to bring your financial growth, not just once or twice, but 3, 4, 5 times, okay? Thank you for joining me. I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Happy birthday to Neurographica again. If you drew with me, welcome to share it on social media. Welcome to tag me. I would love to see it. I would love to see the beautiful drawing that you made as part of this today's open session. Join me on Monday for the next step. Okay. If you haven't drawn with me, welcome to draw during the weekend. Welcome to join on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going further. I'm going to bring you the stages of development, the phases of development. We're going to discuss what's involved in the stages of development. And yes, we will draw a Neurographica picture. Okay. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend.